Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd could rise up. It could get elevated.
I wanna
Nerdcore
be
just
the
a made-up
very
word.
best,
MCs
like no one ever was. Dun, dun, dun. To play them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will play esports across the land, searching far and wide. Dun, dun, dun. Teach Kyle to understand the power that's inside. Esports game, gotta play them all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Esports man.
Esports man.
Esports man. How was that?
Yours is better than the song I had.
What was it? The butt?
No. Esports. Chris and Kyle coach and teams winning trophies. Yeah.
Oh, praise boy. Rubbing on down your goddamn keyboard. Oh, yeah.
Getting kids scholarships and winning. Learning teamwork. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
I would play on Eddie Vedder's team.
That would be the worst. You'd be on the mic. What? Can you repeat that? Push the middle lane.
Push him in
Look how
on,
he got
yeah.
a goddamn hammer. Oh yeah, it destroyed my.
God.
Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are 230 to 40 something year olds to talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And if you guys would like to be a part of the community other than just listening to us and or watching us, in the show notes down below, there's a link to our Discord server where there's all kinds of fun, interesting, for the most part, conversations going on. No, they're all good.
They're all good.
So if you have a particular line of nerddom, things that you enjoy, that you geek out over, there's probably a topic in there that you can just pop in, share some pictures, share your thoughts for anything from like movies, anime, video games. We got fantasy football coming up soon. We've got, if you make stuff, if you're a maker, there's a channel for that. If you just, want to hang out and talk, there's a general channel. And it's free. Discord's free. Join up, get in, agree to the rules. And because we have to do that because we're a community server, and then participate in the conversation. Also, if you want to just, make fun of us live and in person, every Friday and Saturday night, Chris and I stream together on Twitch. You can find Chris over there at Guyver Unit 01. It's GUYVERUNT 01 .twitch or no .tv. Whatever. Find him on Twitch. And then you can find me, Casey, Twitch.tv / his name that I just read off. And then mine is just Casey, K_SIG. And we do play together every Friday and Saturday night. We got a little theme going for Freaky Friday. Games that are just kind of weird, odd. We do Spooky Saturday, where we do more horror-focused indie games, or, just kind of whatever. We've been playing Pummel Party, Cabin in the Woods, play a lot of Phasmo and Phasmo clone games. Yeah. And so you can find that. And then through the week, we'll do different things on our own or sometimes together. We're doing a lot of Fortnites and things. So check that out because that's fun.
Depends on how tired we are.
Mm-hmm. We're always tired. That's my secret.
Where are the links?
The links, they're down in the show notes below. I already said that. Below. You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
He weren't.
I guess I was looking at the flow.
Yeah, well, we got that worked out, sort of.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about
today?
No, I asked you first.
You owe me a reach around or something. I don't know.
Or something along those lines. So
we are talking about no. God damn it.
No, you go. You first.
You go. You're schmoopy. So what we're talking about today? No, you came up with it. Kyle, what are we talking about?
Well, today we are talking about esports, particularly high school esports, because Chris and I are both. Chris is involved, and I will be involved, and it's a growing trend. Oh, hold on, Small Human just brought me a Lego man. There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to put this over here on the desk. He wants that on display.
Actually, I like that.
Yep. I don't know what's
way
going
better
on
than
here.
you can make.
Looks like some kind of mech. or
Yeah,
maybe
that's why I like it.
there's a hair caught in it. Anyway, put him right over here so he doesn't break. So we're both at different levels of involvement. I'm just starting out helping with the local high school esports team. Haven't really got into it yet, just in the planning phases. Chris has been doing it for a few years now.
This will be my 4th year.
And it's something that, you know, we kind of felt that needed to be addressed and put out there, because as popular as the video game industry is, as popular as not only competitive gaming, broadcasting just for entertainment purposes on Twitch, or making, you know, let's plays or different videos on YouTube, the gaming industry as a whole is massive. Massive. The gaming entertainment industry brings in more revenue than, you know, movies, TV shows, and professional sports combined. Learned that last week at a little conference thingy. And so, you know, the moniker of esports, you know, maybe we'll probably jump ahead a little bit, but
It doesn't matter. It's
our
our show.
There's a stigma around that, especially in high school, that it's just kids playing video games at high school. And it's not. It is in a way, but it's not, because there's so much more that goes around that. And there's so many different levels of programs that people fear change. We fear change. And things that are new and different. And this is a great opportunity for kids that don't traditionally compete either solo or as a team, because, you know, maybe traditional high school sports just does not interest them. They don't want to play football or basketball or sing in the choir or learn an instrument, but they want to do something. And they may not even know they want to do something until that's presented to them. And so this is a huge opportunity. High schools, you know, we're going to mostly speak for our home state of Oklahoma. But high schools everywhere are implementing these programs. And the reason they're doing that is because universities and colleges have these programs and they're offering scholarships for their teams. And so getting that message out there and letting people know that, hey, it's not just, hey, your kid's just going to be playing Smash Brothers at school for fun. You know, you have a club and you have a team, and remind me, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit, but it's a great opportunity for kids just to do something, to be involved with something, you know, and that for a lot of kids, that's something that's going to make a huge difference in their life from now on. They may not have had anything, and now they have a chance. And just, there is a stigma around it that people don't, you know, outside of the people that do play video games, just don't understand it. And they think it's a waste of time and a waste of money and a waste of funds. And we're here today, because this is near and dear to our heart, to talk about it and maybe kind of, you know, clear some of that up. I think our target audience, the people that actually listen to our show, are going to understand it from the get-go. But, you know, share it with your friends. Let them know.
So the thing you all have to remember about this too is that esports is the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yep. I've got notes somewhere. Let me pull up my notes while you're doing that.
Yeah, you do that. Fastest growing sport in the world. Esports breaks socioeconomic barriers. We'll go over that here in a little bit too, but like, this allows anyone to be a sports star because it's considered a sport. So you have the kids, the heavy set kids with no athletic talent, but they might be really good at games. You can nurture that. Boom. You know, they instantly become these stars. And what's kind of cool about it is, you know, it builds character. It builds, like Kyle was saying, sportsmanship. And this is a little bit later too, but I've seen it give kids a confidence boost in the going on 4 years I've been doing it, is coaching. It's just a really, really cool opportunity. And when we're talking about this, it may not be so much from the full gamer side too, just so you all know, because Kyle and I are also looking at it from the educational aspect, because that's what kind of our jobs do. So it's just a really cool opportunity for anyone to be a hero, sports hero.
Anybody can do it.
Mhm.
That's what's great. I just got back from a conference a few days ago, and one of the guys that coaches a team not too far from me was, talking about just the how inclusive it is, right?
Mhm.
You don't when you think of your traditional competitions, sports competitions in school, you have your boys team and your girls team, and you have to be physically able to participate. Even in, like marching band and stuff like that. Like there's some physical ability that's required for the most part. They make concessions and they try to include everybody. I think more so in those because you really can't in traditional basketball and football and things. But with esports, I look at it a lot like when I was in high school, I did quiz bowl along with regular sports, and that was something that was inclusive because you had guys and girls on the same team. It didn't matter if you were able-bodied or not. You could participate as long as you could signal that you knew the answer to the question. You could participate, and that's just like with this. The guy that presented it, he was talking about some tournaments that he went to, and you have kids that are not interested in doing anything athletic. You have kids in wheelchairs that would not be able to participate in a traditional competitive team sport. Outside of maybe like quiz bowl or something like that. I see it as there's kids that want to compete, and if they're not physically able, yeah, they can join choir or they can do band, but that may not be the type of competition that they're looking for. It's a totally different, and I'm not downplaying it at all because that
No,
stuff is
no.
serious. Like especially at the school I'm at, band is serious.
We're not going to downplay any of this.
No,
just so you guys
because
know.
yeah, our band is awesome and like they're great to watch and they're super competitive, but it's a different type of competing. And I think that esports kind of bridges that gap a little bit where you're, real time competitive against another person 1-on-1 or 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. And that really kind of gets those competitive juices flowing, which are great to have going, as long as it's in check and it's done healthy.
Not
we'll
be an asshole.
Yeah, we'll get to toxicity and stuff here in a little bit, but we're excited because this is something like, we're close to the same age. We grew up playing video games on the NES, Chove, the NES, and
we got it on the NES.
From the day that you could plug in a second controller and play, double dribble or Street Fighter or anything against your buddies sitting on the couch, like we've been competitive with video games. We play casually. We play games that aren't competitive, but we also, we've been playing a lot of Fortnite. We've been playing the deception type games. We're playing against each other. We get competitive. We're healthy about it, but we get competitive, and that's a good thing. Like it really kind of fosters some innovation, really fosters some good habits of wanting to improve and communication. Like there's so many good things from it. And that's why we get excited. We've grown up with it. We've grown up playing and being competitive and kicking the crap out of each other in Mortal Kombat and Madden and, NCAA and all these things that being able to see, like, I would have loved to had something similar to this back in our day. And it never
would have been great.
It would have been great. It'd been hard to do, but it would have been great. And now with the technology that we have, and hopefully with maybe us doing this a little bit, spreading some more understanding, that it'll continue to grow, especially in our little rural areas. You're not as much, but where I am, yeah. And it's just like I'm pumped up about it.
I'm rural.
Like rural. When I spoke with our district about it, that it kind of I just all I did was mention it in passing that I have a friend that coaches esports, and they're like, "Would you like to do that?"
And he's a pilot.
And he's not a pilot.
It says a pilot on the shirt.
It says it on my shirt. It has to be true.
So, and I'm a pilot.
But I mentioned that in passing. Like I got a friend that coaches, and he really enjoys it. He was not to toot, I'll toot his horn for him. State coach of the year. Was it last year or year before last?
Recently. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, state coach of the year for the state of Oklahoma, and then my team got first last year for the whole state.
So I'll pat your back for you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
That's a big deal.
Thank you.
And, I mentioned that in passing, and they're like, well, would you like to do that? I'm like, heck yeah, I'd like to do that. Like, go to work. And I know this is going against what we were saying at the beginning. Like, I get to go to work and play video games with the kids.
Mhm.
We get all competitive. Heck yeah, I'm in. Sign me up. Like,
I'm in.
yeah, not even asking if I got a coach's stipend or anything for that. It's like, I want to do it, And so that's my excitement from it. What about yours? Like, what about it? Why are you excited about it? Why is it this? Like, I know you love it. Like, I know you're
I do.
super
I
passionate
really
about
do.
it.
It's a pain in the ass to do the scheduling.
Yeah.
Or
I can see that.
teenagers, but it's the trade-off's worth it. Like, so I kind of touched on this.
Keep going.
I
I just
like-
dropped something.
You're fine. I like how it breaks socioeconomic barriers. When I'm talking about that is, so we started a video game club years and years and years ago at the high school, and I had one of my kids, when I was the tech there, he interned for me. Like, he was the kind of kid that had his head down all the time. You'd see him in the hallway, wouldn't talk to anyone, wouldn't make eye contact. He ended up becoming best friends with the quarterback for our football team. And here in Oklahoma, high school football is pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Kyle and I don't really give that much of a shit about that, but
I like football. I've always liked football.
yeah, but I don't see you going to every high school game.
Well, I will, but
Well, you will now.
I will
You
now.
just go with the story. So they ended up becoming like best friends, and last I heard, they still talk to this day. They've been graduated for like better part of like 9 years now, and they still talk. Because
Really?
they would end up playing Madden together. They both shared Madden, and one of the kids, not going to say which one because I'm not, pointing any of them out, came from a much more economically challenging background.
Yeah.
Well, one came from a very much more so economically privileged background. And it's just cool to see them get together. Like, I like how it forces you to work as a team, because most of these kids, video game kids especially, don't know how to work as a team.
Mm-mm.
They're playing Call of Duty by themselves and telling people to go kill themselves when they die. I like the sports aspect of that, or the team building. I like the confidence building. I like what I try and instill on my players is sportsmanship, because it's so toxic.
Mhm.
The video game world. Like, I force them after every game to put good game in the game, and then they have to GG it in chat. If we're in person, they have to tell them good game. At the end of every match, they have to shake their opponent's hand.
Mhm.
Like, I want them to become good citizens as well as good netizens.
Mhm.
And I want them just to be decent human beings. And I'm just the quote unquote sports coach, but that's what I love about this. And I like to build these kids up. And it's just really cool seeing them go from these individual players to just this team come together as a team. It's just really cool. That's what I like about it.
That's what I'm excited about getting into, because I kind of, like, I wasn't great, but I played everything going through high school and was
Mostly himself.
mostly myself. But I mean, football, basketball, baseball, if we had it, I was in it, and we were fairly competitive. And I'm hoping to, whenever I get in, is to bring some of that over, being respectful, really, really wanting to do what I can to squash the toxicity that can happen. Because like you said, that is so frustrating, and it's
bad.
It
is so bad.
It gets bad, and I don't get it. I don't know if just the kids think it's cool or if haha, I got you, but you don't know who's receiving that on the other end. You don't know when that can catch them wrong. And it's just about building some maturity, and I mean, I see, no grown people that play that still act like that. And
which is sad.
which is sad. So we, try to break that early. But that's why we're excited about it, because there's so many, learning opportunities. There's so much that goes on to it. Like I said, we've got our list here, but we're gonna skip around a little bit. Um is there's not just an opportunity just to play. We talk about inclusivity. Inclusivity? Is that a word? Being inclusive.
And
Inclusiveness. There we go.
Inclusivity.
Inclusivity.
I just like your
God.
We're coaches. We can make up our own words.
Make up our own words. But there's opportunities for even the kids that aren't your top players, or they may not even be interested in playing competitively, but they want to be a part of something. And there's a lot of schools that broadcast their gameplay live, just like they do the Friday night football game. A lot of schools are broadcasting that live with an announcer team and field reporters. Like they're doing their own little mini ESPN from the school.
That's what we're trying to do.
And you're trying to get that, and I'm really hoping to get that going as well, because
it's hard to do.
We're both semi-versed in OBS and how to do things and broadcast live and stuff. So there's going to be kids, hopefully, that I'll come and I'll want to play. I don't want to really. I'm not feeling like I'm competitive, or just to be honest, they may not be good enough to start or be on the second string, but you still want that kid there because they have a great drive. They want to do something. And you find out that maybe they've got an interest in broadcasting. Maybe they want to be an announcer for the broadcast. You can have kids running the OBS and doing the scene switches and doing all the cool cuts and things like that to make it look professional, make them, help them learn how to do that. And then you have the kid that, just like, I think it's the same school down south of us around Ada. He said he had a kid that he's an aspiring voice actor. He told him that's what he wants to. He told his coach, I want to be a voice actor. And so he's their announcer whenever they broadcast. It's like he'll randomly do different voices, but I'm like, whatever, do what you want to do, make it fun. And so that's a good outlet for that kid. He doesn't play. I'm sure he plays, but he doesn't play with the team, but he's there supporting the team, and he's learning how to announce and effectively relay information to a audience that may not understand what they're seeing, because these parents like to watch their kids do whatever, and so that they may not understand what's going on in the gameplay. It's fast, it's colorful, there's lots of things going on, and he's been teaching him and working with him on how to, when he's announcing the game, explain it like you're explaining to somebody that's looking at a computer for the very first time, or watching a football game for like, let them know what's going on, explaining the rules, explaining the strategy.
So that's a really good transition here real quick, because you all know us, we're going to jump around anyway. So the main point of high school esports is to try and get the kids a scholarship. There are scholarship opportunities available from major universities now, and there's more and more every year.
While you're on that, I have a list, and I do want to say the list, just so this is for because we're in Oklahoma. This is just for Oklahoma. The list of colleges as of a week ago that are offering esports scholarships, money to go to college for esports: East Central University, University of Oklahoma, OSU in Stillwater, University of Central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City University, University of Tulsa, Southeastern State in Durant, Carl Albert, Rogers State, Mid-American Christian, Southern Nazarene, Northeastern State, our alma mater, and Cameron University. That's just in Oklahoma. And there's
we've actually gotten a couple kids that got scholarships last year.
Yeah. Like
one was for Rocket League.
Like almost anywhere that if they're wanting to go to college, there's a good chance it's one of those colleges that they're wanting to go in Oklahoma, and that they offer scholarships.
Yep. So, but on that, it's not about, I'm going to burst some bubbles here. If you play esports, you're probably not going to get a scholarship. So don't go in thinking I'm going to be the best. I'm going to get a scholarship. Unless you are exceptional, you won't be getting that. It's like regular sports. You know, not everyone will get it. So you can't go in thinking, oh, my kid likes to play Minecraft, so my kid's going to get a scholarship. No. I mean, they might, but odds are they're not. But where there are scholarship opportunities, a lot more, are the people who do the video production.
Yeah.
The people who do the Photoshop for graphic design, the people who do the set design, the people who do the announcing, the people who do all the stage design, the crafting.
Mhm.
That's where all your opportunity is. The marketing,
The broadcasting, the marketing,
scholarships at.
the event planning. If you're going to host a tournament and you get those kids that are good at, they're organized, they know how to, or they have a natural ability to put things together like that, make them your event organizer. Organize your tournament. There's scholarships for that through the esports programs at the colleges. And, I want to piggyback on your scholarship comment for just a moment of, you're going to have questions of why should I let I'd rather my kid play football. I'd rather my kid play basketball. There's better scholarships for that than that. Here's the thing. Okay. If the kid does not want to play, if their heart is not in that game, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, they are not going to get a scholarship. They can have all the talent in the world. If they don't like it, it's going to show, and they're not going to get a scholarship. Why not let them do something that they enjoy and have a chance to possibly get a scholarship? Like kids do something they like. I know it's a weird idea, right? It's foreign to you and me and everybody else in Oklahoma. Like, well, they don't have to play football. My youngest is playing football and I'm loving it.
And it's great because he showed me a video.
Yeah, it's hilarious and it's awesome. And I'm loving it and he's liking it. But as soon as he's like, I don't like this anymore, I'm not having fun.
We're done.
Like, yeah. I mean, like long term, not just like, oh, it's hot today, I don't like playing football anymore. Like it'll get better. But I mean, when they truly just do not like it, there's a difference between being tired at the end of a practice and just like, I don't want to go back, to I just don't enjoy this anymore.
There's a big difference.
There's a huge difference. And I think that's the same thing with what we'll be doing. They're going to get frustrated. They don't want to play the game anymore. Like I got wrecked 2 weeks in a row. I'm just not liking this. I'm not having any fun.
I'm done.
They're not having any fun because they're not winning. Winning's fun. And that's where it's on parents and us. You still have to push them a little bit. You still have to push the kids. Like, you need to find your limits. You need to learn how to overcome this, because it's not that you're not liking the activity. It's you're not liking the moment.
Absolutely.
There's a big difference. And that goes for anything, not just esports. Classwork and, regular sports, traditional sports. We'll go with that.
Sports balls.
That's big, and understanding that difference. But if they're going to enjoy it, they're going to have a better chance. And it shouldn't always be all about the scholarships, but that's a big selling point for parents to help get them on board. That's a big selling point for schools and school boards and communities, because you need your community on board with you. You need your school board on board with you. Yeah, board. All that, or it just gets
your board.
You lose a lot of energy fighting all that, and I'm ready to dig my heels in because it's going to happen. But also,
it's an uphill fight.
Yeah. But also, I'm more of the I don't really care, in the most positive way. I don't care because we're going to do this. So,
no, you do care.
I do care,
but you care you care about the kids.
Exactly.
That's what you care about.
That's what I'm getting at. Not, Karen down at Walmart in the video game aisle buying a Fortnite card for a kid, but also griping about that they have it in the school.
Yep.
I don't care. Sorry, Karen.
So I was just looking. Look at this. So this gap in between my headphone and the band. Look, you can see through it.
Oh, I saw
like
that.
The background from the green screen. Look,
I think we got that going high as well. Yeah,
Um,
it's getting super popular. There, where were we there? Where did we go on the list? We went somewhere. Scholarships,
we're all over. We did scholarships.
growing in popularity. Let's talk about the games that are available. That's some of the meat and potatoes and
There's
what's
a lot.
so many.
So and when you talk about the games, it's not just computer games. You got consoles,
Mhm.
you got computers, and now you also have mobile games. I coach a mobile game,
Mhm.
and it's free to play, so everyone can play it.
VR
You've got
games.
stuff like Rocket League, which, okay, I still don't get the point of Rocket League. The one time I played it, a guy I was playing with told me to uninstall it. Like, this is the toxicity shit I'm talking about too. Because, like, where are you? You got to help me hit this ball. I'm like, I don't know. I'm on the ceiling somewhere.
I'm new. Yeah.
Bear with me. I'm new and I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
You've got like Super Smash Brothers. That is one of the biggest esports games there is. And they offer that as scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is, like, so in our league, we do it one-on-one, but like OU will run it, like University of Oklahoma runs it like the 4-on-4.
Yeah.
So you got that. You've got Call of Duty. You've got Apex. You've got League of Legends. You've got Valorant. You've got I've been trying to get the league to do Smite because I think Smite would be great.
So we had that CSGO is on the list because that's, and I think, just correct me if I'm wrong. This is me looking at the list, and there's multiple leagues in Oklahoma. We're going to be kind of focusing on one league that, Chris is in because he's more familiar with it, so he can help, answer some of those questions. But it seems like there's a lot of focus on the games, one, that the colleges have. I mean, because you're going to want that if you want to, relate that high school experience to getting a scholarship. You kind of need to be playing the games that the colleges are playing. And two, the games that are outside of college, competitively popular, that are Counter-Strike is still massive. CSGO is still massive. There's still tons of tournaments.
Thought that,
like cash money tournaments, for Counter-Strike, and that's, and for Fortnite and for Call of Duty. Like, there's these big cash tournaments that, you can go play in. And so those seem to be the ones that are making the list. Is either, college opportunity or real world tournaments. But as we hit CSGO and Call of Duty and stuff like that, there's going to be one topic that's going to be as controversial as we let it be. I'm not saying on the show, but I'm talking about in our day-to-day coaching. And that is the playing of first-person shooters in school. Okay.
We fought against that for years.
And I think your selling point of that is if they're playing it in college, if they're playing Overwatch, if they're playing Call of Duty, if they're playing Fortnite, if that's on the college schedule of tournaments and teams, you kind of need to have it.
Absolutely.
Now, the counter to that is, I think, and you can tell me if this is how you guys do it or how you feel about it, is you have to get the parents on board with that.
Yep.
And you have to CYA. Like, you want that 100% known that, hey, your kid will be playing this with your permission.
And I think that's how we're going to do it. I don't know, because we're just doing it for the first time this year.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive, because someone goes, what's the big deal? Blah, 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 blah. Guns in school.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing on it. So, like, it's really hard to sell to a school board and a superintendent that you want to play a gun where you're holding a gun to someone else's head and shooting them in the back of the head.
There is, I think it depends on how in touch your board is. If the parents themselves are on board with it, I mean, 100%. If a parent tells me I don't want my kid playing that, kid's not playing it. I'm not fighting that fight. You know, I would get as much information out as I can. Like, okay, so if we're doing Overwatch, like this is by definition a first person shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
It is not using real world weapons. It
Nope.
is very cartoony. It is
Yep.
not realistic. There's magic. There's all this other stuff, you know, magic type abilities, if you wanted to call it that, however you want to look at it. Not very realistic at all. If we're doing Call of Duty or if we're doing Counter-Strike, like, yes, this uses real, you know, weapons modeled after real world weapons. Still not very realistic because it's hyper fast and there's all this going on, you know, but you have, and the way I want to do it is make sure that my parents are aware. And that way, if they ever want to gripe about something, like you were made aware, you said you were okay with it, and we did it.
Yep.
You cannot blame me or you cannot blame the school. I've got your signature right here where you said, yes, it's okay for little Jimmy to play that because little Jimmy's playing Call of Duty at home.
And you're not paying attention.
I guarantee you little Jimmy's playing Call of Duty at home. Or even Fortnite, you know. Fortnite may be an easier sell.
You just gotta be careful.
They're playing it at home. The kids are playing it at home. Guarantee you they're playing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, let us like kind of mold them not to be the kid that you got to yell at from across the room. Like, don't use that language in global chat or whatever. I was going somewhere else with that too, and I forgot. Oh yeah, you know, and just like the studies backing up because we talk about, you know, it's guns. It's a game with guns in school, and we kind of get you get back to that old Tipper Gore argument from the 90s. You know, someone think of the children with the violent video games and all that, and there have been
video games
for every study that shows that violent video games increases violent tendencies in children. There's another study that shows the complete opposite. It's a wash.
Well, and here's the thing. There's nothing been proven. There's no studies that have proven it. So
no, they're not done well.
No, these parents think, you know, they've seen something on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're saying, and parents, we're not coming down on you. I just want you to know
I
that.
am.
We're just, oh, he is. I'm not.
But now
there is literally no scientific proof that links video game violence to real world violence. There is none out there. If you can find it, bring it to us. I'd be interested to see that. So would the entire gaming community and the education community.
Yeah. There's no way you can throw a net over that whole thing because everybody is different individually. Like
I love killing zombies.
Probably tell,
I don't go out and kill people.
You could probably tell if you have a kid playing a quote unquote violent game, Call of Duty or something like that, and as you're watching, you're like, they probably don't need to be playing that. Like you can't throw that, but you can't exclude the kids that are perfectly able to separate reality from video games and keep them from playing something that's going to be competitive and help, and you know that they can enjoy and do well in. And so you can't throw a blanket over the whole thing. No, that's where it comes down to parenting and being a good coach / teacher and paying attention to your kids, because not all of them probably should be playing it. But,
so you got to be careful too. You just a lot of how close you get with the kids. Like none of the kids have my cell phone or anything else.
Yeah.
You just got to cover your own ass because it's just such a weird world today. I'll tell you one thing that does help with esports though.
Computers?
You know what it is? Huh?
Computers and internet?
Well, that's a big part, but also chassis.
How does chassis help with esports?
Because you're sitting in those gaming chairs for long periods of time, and it stops the sweat from rolling down into the chair, so the next person who sits won't be sitting in your chassis sweat.
I don't think I'm going to be handing out bottles of chassis at practice. I won't get a phone call about Call of Duty, but I'll get one about handing out gooch powder at practice.
You might. You might not. They might.
I might get a thank you letter. Like, oh my God.
My kid smells so much better.
I don't have to deal with the funk. Maybe.
Chassis.
Chassis, not just for adults. So sponsor us, Chassis. We're trying hard.
Chassis, we're really trying.
Oh, so we hit first-person shooters. We hit a little bit about the stigma of gaming in school, scholarship opportunities, growing in popularity, broadcasting. Okay, what it's lacking right now, besides, you know,
It has been
resounding
found lacking.
community support, is from, you know, I won't know until I have signups, which I'm excited about and also dreading, because I think it's going to be massive.
It's massive, and get ready for the whining when they don't make the team.
Yeah, that's fine. I can handle that. Is the lack of, and just like in gaming in general, you have the lack of females. And it's not that you have the lack of females in gaming, you have like female representation. You have the lack of.
No, there is a lack of females in gaming.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of girls that play. It's growing. That's growing in popularity. I think their representation is lacking, not just in the games themselves, but in good, positive influencers that play. You know, we did a whole episode over that way back when, you know, and that's them not, you know, they need something positive. And I'm hoping I get some girls on my team. And so they can, like, the guys and the girls, and even if they're the nerdy guys and the nerdy girls, they learn how to, you know, they build some social skills and interact and make friends. And, you know, some of my very best friends were females. And it's, in high school, it's hard. You know, it's, you know, it was a long time ago, but I still remember a lot of it very vividly. It's hard to have those conversations with people outside your circle. And this is a good opportunity because you have mixed gender teams. You have guys and girls playing together, being competitive together. And I think there's a lot of life lessons, hopefully positive, that can come out of that. You know, I don't know what my mix is going to be right now. I mean, you could probably speak for yours a little bit better, but I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that it's male dominated.
Oh, 100%. Like, it's hard to recruit females. Like, I didn't have a single female in my sport, which is Clash Royale. We had a couple. I think we had like maybe 4 out of 120 kids on our team. That's not a good number.
Is that the full high school?
That's 9th through 12th. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's something that,
that's a bad number.
Like,
I've also seen male gamers, like in esports, treat the female gamers like shit.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Well, and that's where we have the opportunity to kind of put the hammer down on that, and, you know, stop it immediately. Because, I mean, me personally, I mean, you know, like I'm just in general life or whatever, I'm not going to stand for that, and will not on the team as well. And so, speaking of team, I'm referencing back to that conference I went to quite a bit. And
he actually learned something.
I learned things.
Like, I'm actually proud of him for once. He learned something.
Yep. Took lessons home. And so there's this is going to touch back on that stigma a little bit of playing video games at school. And the example that was given to us, and I love this example so much, is club versus team, right? And so you want to play basketball, Chris. Let's say you want to play basketball.
Okay.
And are you going to go meet up at your buddy's house or at the park, drop the goal down a little bit, and you're going to play some pickup games and lower the goal where you can dunk on it and just play and have fun?
Nope.
Versus going to the team, going to practice, having substitutions, running drills, running strategy, reviewing game film. Club for fun, social versus competitive. Not saying you cannot have fun being competitive, because you can have a blast being competitive.
Right.
But that's where the difference is. And I think that's a good selling point for the parents in the community. Like, we are holding practices. We are having starters and subs and rotations, eligibility requirements, just like, you know, the quote unquote real sports. All that is taking place.
Right.
And that's where you have, you know, a difference between the club. You said you guys had a club for a while. And I say that, you know, as like
years,
you know, very probably more social more relaxed,
Absolutely.
more laid back, and more like conversation. Like, hey, we have a common interest and we're hanging out. And I think we're going to try to do that eventually with like the junior high. Like, you guys can have the club, and that's what some schools around here do. They have the club when you're younger, and then we're getting serious in high school. And I think that's what we'll do as well. And there's, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a club versus a team. I think absolutely nothing wrong with that, because maybe you just got kids that just want to hang out and have some type of structure. Have the club, but they're eventually going to want to get competitive. I guarantee you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It's a whole new environment, like one that's not been charted in, at least in Oklahoma, for very long.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, esports has only been around in Oklahoma for 4 years. So it's not established. So
it's kind of Wild West out there right now.
It's getting a lot better. Like, just depending on which leagues you're in and what you do. Like, some leagues charge, some don't.
Yeah.
Some leagues charge spectators to come watch, some don't. If you work in pub ed or education in general, and you're interested in esports, reach out to someone, find out more, see what you can do about getting your school going. Because I'm a big advocate for getting the kids into this. I think it's a great way to get them into a team, and it builds character, builds discipline. Why not? What do you got to lose?
What you're saying is you're a virtual athletic supporter.
Yes, I'm a cup.
I was ready for that joke. I mean, waiting.
I'm a virtual athletic supporter. Yes.
Yeah, if you don't know who to talk to, join our Discord. For one, if you're a new person, this just popped up in your algorithm somehow, and you don't know who to talk to or what to ask, join our Discord. And either one of us would be more than Chris has a lot of experience. I'd be more than happy to reference you to Chris if you message me, and we'll.
You done messed up, Aaron.
But no, I want to see it grow. I am super excited about it. Chris has been doing it for 4 years. He's still super excited about it. I don't see the burnouts hit you yet, and I can tell the frustrations have at times, because that comes with anything. But you're still doing it.
Yep, still doing it.
And you don't have to.
I don't get paid for it.
No, that's the thing. You don't have to do it. And you're still doing it. That's a sign of something right there. And
when Kyle gets frustrated in his classroom, though, we know what's going to happen.
Get out of my goddamn classroom before I break my foot off in your ass.
Yep, that's when you guys will see me on the news.
You want to go to war, Malaki?
Oh, man.
I'm going to get good use out of all those. But yeah, like Kyle was saying, just message us.
I wonder if can we have a killer in the cabin team? Can we do that?
Actually, that would be a blast, wouldn't it?
Well, that could be cool. Okay, we're veering off topic. Whatever, it's our show. We can do this. Because we have all this competitive stuff that will be happening. Tournaments once or twice a month per game. Like, there's a lot of things going on, but just a fun, like a social thing. Like, hey, this is our sister team or whatever from Union that the coaches are friends and we get along. Like, we can have an off night and you guys can play this and, play together, play Among Us or something, together and just see how that goes. And it kind of, help improve the cross team camaraderie because that was something that was rare, but was really magical when it would happen in high school sports. Whenever you had other teams that you would play in, like, it's ingrained in you in football, basketball to a lesser extent. Baseball was okay. That, like, that's not your opponent. That's your enemy. You do not converse with those guys. You do not want to. And I made some really cool friends from the other team, you know, being like, I shouldn't have been, but I played on the line in football. So you're in the trenches, and
Mhm.
there's either a lot of trash talk that happens because you're down there buried up nose to nose, lined up, and you're either talking trash or you're making jokes back and forth at each other. Like there's no in between. Like everybody's always saying something. And, sometimes after the game, even if you get the crap kicked out of you, or if you kick the crap out of them, you would find that other lineman that's across from you. And if you were cutting jokes the whole game back and forth and kicking the crap out of each other physically, like you made a buddy right then. That's kind of how guys do, I guess.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to kick each other's ass and now we're best friends.
Mhm.
And, and that's just how it was. Baseball was kind of similar because some of those guys would play summer leagues together and they would play against each other. Then they would be on the same team. And so you had friends on the other side. And so something like that, like a social activity, like we're going to play a game together that not really a winner or a loser. I mean, there is, but it's more fun and social and you get to meet people from it because there's a good chance that if you're good and you guys end up at the same college, you got something together that you can relate to, or, long shot, you're on the same team. Like
Mhm.
you need to build these relationships, not just within your team, but with the other teams that you're competing against. Networking is huge. So
Absolutely.
that's my little soapbox on that.
So just get involved. Get your kid involved. If you're one of the parents that says my kid doesn't do anything, I was highly involved in college, and I found that the most successful kids, the ones who stayed and graduated, are the ones who found a place to be in college. They found something, a niche, um, somewhere where they belong. They found a link to the university or link to something, and they were more apt into graduating and
Yep.
making more friends versus the shut-ins, which it's cool. If you're a shut-in too, cool.
Mhm.
But
the
this is
kids
just something that I saw.
that get good grades just because they know, like, I need to make good grades and that's it, and they're not involved in anything else is very rare. Like that's a very special kid to
Mhm.
be able to be like, okay, I'm going to school, I'm making my grades, and I'm going on. A lot of kids need that extra motivation of, okay, I really enjoy doing this thing, but if I don't do good in class, I can't do this thing that I enjoy.
Right.
And that was something else from the conference. They had kids, like several, all the way up through until they got to high school, that um, they struggled with their grades, not from lack of ability, they just didn't care.
Right.
And all of a sudden they had something to care about. They couldn't play with their friends, their new friends that they made on the team. They couldn't be competitive. They couldn't do the new thing they liked if their grades weren't up. And grades shot up, like going from C and D students to A and B students.
Speaking of B students, Kyle left.
I'm back.
But yeah. So, I mean, what do you all think?
Let us
Do you
know.
think? Yeah, just let us know. It's like I said, I'm sure Kyle's, once he gets further into this, we'll probably revisit this later in the year.
I think we should. I think it'd be very interesting.
Like
I was wrong about everything.
And then we can maybe get some real coaches in to talk.
It would be fun to do an episode, esports and football sports coaches together. Be like, this is what we do. What do you guys do? You know what I mean? Like,
That's a bad idea.
no, I'm doing it. I'm going to make it happen.
And I'll tell you why.
Why is this? Well, I know why with your school.
Yeah, with our school, but from what we've seen so far,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I've heard from the other coaches don't take the esports league because it's so new to Oklahoma seriously.
I think
some do.
Here's where you're going to see that, and this is going to come down to just the same thing with the parents, I think. And this is totally hypothetical. This is just off the top of my head. Nothing to back this up. It's the age gap. Okay, and so for the most part, like a lot of your coaches in Oklahoma, regardless of sport, have been coaching for the last 55 years. You've got a lot of old coaches. They've been there for a long time.
Yep,
that's life. They did. But you also have a lot of younger coaches that grew up our age and younger that grew up playing games and still play games and still, like, like I said, the conference I went to, he's got a coaching staff and team of about 8 people all together with support and all that. And 3 of those 8 are either current or former football coaches because they like to play Madden. They're younger guys that played Madden in college. They played NCAA. They played Halo in the dorms. They did all this stuff on the spare time, and the younger guys get it. I think they get it. Now you're still going to have some that football's life. We're breathing and pooping football.
Football's life,
and that's fine. I get, that's fine. That's their passion. I'm not going to knock their passion at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But I think if we get the right ones that understand it and be like, hey, let's compare some, even if it's not an episode, even if it's like, hey, let's just compare, like, this is what I'm doing, my guys, because discipline's going to be discipline. Sportsmanship's going to be sportsmanship. Teamwork's going to be teamwork, regardless of what you're doing.
Right.
Same strategies are going to apply to all of it. And just kind of compare, like, hey, this is what we're doing. And I think even if we don't, like I say, even if we don't do it as an episode, even, if anybody's out there listening that's getting something started, that could be a really cool, not just a building of ideas and be like, okay, I can start doing this. That could be finding a common ground when somebody realizes, oh, this is serious. And they are treating this just like we have been treating baseball and basketball and football. Like this, there's a seriousness to this. And it's not just kids playing video games and killing time after school.
And I agree with all that. But like I said, the biggest thing that I've seen, the barrier right now, is just getting them to take it serious.
Yeah. Well, you're at a huge football school too.
Yeah. I mean, we're a big 6A school, and
you're like at a, not just a huge in the state, like a huge in the nation football school.
Yeah.
That's, I would be surprised if anybody outside the coaching staff gets time of day of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So.
No. And it's like football pretty much gets like everything, And so that's why I said it's just,
I don't know. You guys have a hell of a football program.
Well, I mean, we spent $26 million on a new football stadium.
It's nice. I accidentally drove by it the other day. So,
but yeah, no, that's always going to be a challenge. It's like the us versus them, but you just gotta. It'll eventually get there.
It will.
You know what I mean? It'll eventually get there.
You start getting some recognition. And then that's really what it all revolves around.
Right.
Whether we agree with it or not, recognition and bringing home state championships and showing off kids getting scholarships and stuff. It's baby steps the whole way, and it'll get there.
It'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So tell us what you guys think. If you have, like I said, if you have questions, join the Discord, shoot us a message, throw it out in chat, whatever. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to know. Or if you have ideas for other shows, let us know. We kind of threw this one together, and I think it went really well. And so there's other stuff you guys want us to talk about, let us know. Join the Discord.
Join the Discord. So yeah, with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And wherever you guys are, please have a good evening, night, morning, daytime, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and please be good to each other.
Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word.